Hey guys, good evening and good afternoon once more, and welcome to the big debate. Today, one of the two semi-finals matches of the ongoing African Cup of Nations took place in Yaoundé. So, first of all, before we proceed with the program, yesterday we told you the game would take place in Douala. Actually, CAF changed it and it took place in the other stadium in Yaoundé, the Madu Ayijo Stadium. So, this game was between two very prosperous African giants. So, Burkina Faso and Senegal. So, until today, 48 matches have been played in the African Cup of Nations. Today, the 49th game was played between these two giants. We will proceed straight with the analysis, the post-match analysis of the game. So with me in the studio today is the ever-present True Lion. Good evening, True Lion, and welcome to the big debate.
Good evening, Dr. T. Thanks for having me. It's a pleasure.
It's a pleasure to always have you here and pick your head and have interesting discussions on football related issues and footballing in general. So thank you for joining. And also in the studio today is Maitre Bechem Ebini. Good evening, Maitre, and welcome to the big debate.
Thank you, Dr. T. It's a pleasure to be here. And True Lion, I know you're excited today. Your team won. So I'm looking forward to the discussions.
It's good to have you both here in the studio. So today we'll be focusing on the first semi-finals game that took place today in the Amadou Ayijo Stadium in Yaoundé. These two teams are teams which are coached by local coach, something I know you guys are very, very enthusiastic and interested in and want to see it more in African football. So we will delve straight into the analysis of this game. But before we start, this is how the two managers or the coaches started the games. No major change, I think, from we thought the only thing we thought maybe Senegal would have done, maybe starting Sa, but he didn't start. But one of the players, like you both discussed yesterday, started for Senegal, and that is the midfielder, what's his name? Kouyaté actually started. So you guys tell me what you guys thought the referee, the coaches were doing. So let's focus firstly on just the first half of play. We'll go to the second half and how the game processed. So you guys just focus on what the coaches were thinking and the first half analysis. So True Lion, I will start with you.
Yeah, I think starting Kouyaté means he had two sitting holding midfielders, and Kouyaté had the liberty to move forward. But I think it was interesting for him to start Ghana up high, and that paid dividends. But I think that was interesting. However, I think his strategy was actually that he just wanted to contain, that midfield when it came to the final third. The holding midfielder actually holding Burkina Faso, to limited chances in the final third because Burkina Faso, as we saw, dominated the midfield in most part of it, but they were not as dangerous when they moved on to the final third. So that's the strategy that CC went for.
Okay, interesting. Maitre Bechem, you also thought maybe they should start with midfield with three midfield, but you weren't very, very convinced. I think you swore at some point, not here, why he is starting with Ghana up front instead of Kouyaté.
Yeah, not really of Kouyaté. Actually, it was a very beautiful game. The two teams actually showed great quality and energy. However, I was concerned when I saw Ghana playing as that number 10 in that number 10 role. I believe he lacks the creativity to play in that position. I know yesterday I had mentioned that Mendy should have been dropped in place of Kouyaté and Ghana, and then look for a creative player to play
A more creative player. Yes.
right behind the striker. I was wrong. I was wrong somehow because Mendy actually proved me wrong. He was like the energy in that midfield, his drive, his passion, and his ability to make tackles when needed. I mean, I was really impressed with Mendy. However, I think Senegal actually, though it was a 50-50 game in the first half, but Senegal showed some class. They actually created chances. You saw Mane making runs in and out of the midfield and on the wings, and also Ghana, whom I thought lacks creativity, was able to also like press somehow very high. That way, it prevented the Burkina Faso defenders from actually pushing forward. So overall, they showed experience, and
Mhm.
the quality was there, but not as much as I expected. But they showed experience, despite the fact that it was a 50-50 first half.
Yeah, so in this kind of games, experience is very important, and one of the objectives of this kind of games is like you try to contain your opponents, and it seems as if Senegal did that in the first half because from what we saw in the game and even in the previous games, Burkina Faso can be very, very dangerous. True Lion.
Yeah, actually, talking again more of that midfield, what's his name? Mendy is a guy that
Yes.
replaces Ndidi directly when he plays actually in Leicester, and he's really like a holding midfielder, and that energy he really carries that energy. But when you look at a guy like Ghana is not really that holding type. He's more like a destroyer, and and he has a very very good shot. He can shoot from afar. I've seen him do that with PSG. I saw him
Mhm.
do that with Everton. And
Everton,
then
yeah.
also Kuyate is at the point of his life where he's not that young anymore. He's not that young and coming out of injury. I was even surprised that he started, but well, Cisse showed us why he actually started because he's one of the players that had actually a good game. And talking about experience, that's what I was trying to tell you guys yesterday. Because as good as that Burkina Faso team is, they have a lot of young players, 20 years old, 21 years old. The guy that's for Manchester City, but he's been loaned out. Those guys are young.
Yeah,
Then
yeah,
I also looked at the point where Traore, if you see, he had an opportunity in the first half where he was looking for his left foot, where the right
yes.
foot was already there, he could have kicked.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think that
At that point, the game was I think it was
0-0.
0-0.
Yeah, it was
He
zero.
had
It
the
was
chance.
in
It was
contact.
him and the keeper on his right side of the foot. He's left-footed, so
Yeah, he tried to go to his left, and then the defender caught up with him. So I took that all into consideration. So their strategy was to dominate the midfield. However, Cisse was not too worried about letting them dominate the midfield. He just wanted to make sure that they didn't have enough people when they had the ball, like in the final third, or when they were counter attacking them. So that's the strategy that won today.
and at halftime it was 0-0. So Maitre, Bechem. So what are some of the factors that led to this game ending 0-0? And then all of a sudden in the second half, which we'll talk later, exploding? Is it like do you guys think all the both coaches were happy at this point, or who was a happier coach, if I may
Yeah,
ask?
at halftime, I think Burkina Faso was the happier team because Senegal created more chances than Burkina Faso. Senegal actually played on the front foot than Burkina Faso. Through Burkina Faso kind of contained them in the midfield, which is why you notice Mane became very, very visible and very involved in the game because Senegal adopted a system in which they actually played now outside as opposed to playing straight in the middle. I think the ref too kind of gave the game to Senegal in the first half and early second half. The ref gave so much protection for Mane. The Senegalese players actually ran to the referee whenever there was a foul or there was a perceived foul, which actually kind of influenced the way the ref handled the game. I wasn't very impressed with the way he was constantly making stops, even when Mane wasn't foul because he went on the ground. For him, he had to be a foul. But if you want us to talk about the second half, I think when we got into the second half, I mentioned this when Burkina Faso played Tunisia,
And
that in the last quarter of the game,
just for a second, maybe before we go to the second half, but I'll push this to True Lion. But True Lion, you have always been an advocate of protecting the good players. And offline, you and I had a conversation where you thought that the referee was giving too much respect to the Senegalese player. But always, you have always said that it's good. You have to protect the good players, especially the strikers.
No, of course, you have to protect the good players when they are fouled. But when they are simulating foul, like Mane was doing all through, and the Senegalese players were doing all through the first half, then I wouldn't support such an idea. And I think the referee was a little naive throughout the game. Although some of you guys, VAR, came out and reversed some of the decisions that he took. I am not in that. I actually criticize him just because he was looking at the Senegalese players' reaction. Then he was calling a foul. Like even the penalty that was overturned by VAR. You cannot look at, because he did not see it. He was behind the Senegalese player. He did not see that the ball actually hit the guy on the elbow, but he gave the penalty just because the Senegalese players advocated for it. I don't want such type of refrain, because if you are not sure, let it go. Then let VAR call you.
Yeah, but truly to interject there, I actually thought he saw the ball hit the hand, because the time he blew the whistle, it was very, very quick. It's not as if he waited. He took time. If he took time, I would have said, oh yeah, he looked at the player's reaction. But as soon as the ball hit the guy, he got a whistle. I agree
No,
that he got it wrong.
Dr. T, you can pull the
he
picture
didn't
again.
see.
You can
He
pull the
didn't see.
image
I
again.
agree with True Lion. Yeah.
Yeah, you can pull the image again and say it. He was just consistent with the fact that every time that the Senegalese players fell and they were crying for foul, he actually went with them. So he was being a little bit naive, and I'm not a fan of such type of referees.
But eventually, just before we go to the second half, because I think in the second half he actually improved. Eventually, he made the right decisions, because it's okay to make those calls, but thanks to VAR, if you review them, you should be making the right decision.
But that's slowing down the game, because he made about 3-4 type of those calls that he had to go to VAR. That's slowing down the game. And
so, but slowing down, but also if he played on the game, hypothetically, if he played on the game and 2 minutes after VAR calls him, it's still slowing down the game. So I prefer you to call and VAR reviews it.
But then that would be that he actually did not see something, because if you're calling a foul that you do not see, it means you are reacting to the players, and that's bad refrain.
But True Lion, I agree with you on that. But that was the only incident, because the other incident in which he went to VAR actually recommended that he go check out something, which to me was just a waste of time. I mean, the one between Koyate and the goalkeeper. And there was a potential penalty on Mane, which he did not give. The report actually said penalty, but he was showing a spot kick, a goal kick. He
didn't even wait. And like many people, yeah, and so many people actually said that he pointed to the penalty, but that is not what he did.
He didn't give a penalty. Yes,
he said it was a goal kick.
A goal kick, not a penalty. And then so that's why he did not go to VAR. He just went along with his decision, because VAR actually checked, and that was simulation of Mane's point. I was surprised that he didn't give Mane a yellow card on that, because Mane actually stamped on the player and fell and pretended as if he had been fouled. That was supposed to be a yellow card for Mane.
So okay. So I think this is a very, very interesting subject. I think if we continue on the subject, we are going to derail the discussion, because I think if a player is running and they touch somebody, they can fall. But most of the time, when a player falls, they say it's simulation. However, let's keep that for another day. Let's go to the second half. So the first half ended 0-0, and you guys have mentioned that at that point, the Burkina Faso coach was probably the happier one. Okay, so let's go to the second half. So what changed in the second half? True Lion, or any of you can start.
Yeah, so the second half was kind of interesting, because you notice Sarr came in, Koyate came out, then they brought in the guy who was more offensive. Ghana had to then Ghana dropped a little bit. Someone was actually playing out at least in front of Ghana. And Senegal actually, how can I put it? Mane was very instrumental. I know the first goal was a corner kick, but if you notice, after that goal, Senegal actually took control over the game. They did not sit back that, we have 1-0. And guess what? The goal came in after the 70th minute. After the 70th minute, at the time that this team that lacks quality, the Burkina Faso team, which I believe the team spirit is what took them to this level. Not that they have so much quality. The team
youthfulness and the team spirit, yes.
Yeah. Once you put in so much energy in a game like this for 70 minutes, trust me, the last quarter of the game, if the other team has a lot of experience like Senegal does, they're going to kill you. Senegal took advantage of it, and boom, they killed the game. We saw that naivety and inexperience from Burkina Faso at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, True Lion, now to you, there is something you mentioned, and I think I also mentioned that offline, that the goal that Burkina Faso, especially the first goal, you are the one who said, you actually, like, you cried out that that should never happen in the corner kick. You let the ball bounce in the 18-meter box not once, and the player touches it twice that is like a suicide mission. You're on mute, True Lion.
Yes, actually, what happened is that the better team was always going to win, especially when they kept asking questions. I think it was unfortunate maybe for Burkina Faso that maybe Senegal did not score in the first half, because it just kept Senegal hungry, and that they will play actually 90 minutes football. And I've seen Senegal play throughout this competition. They never back down. They never back down. Even when they are playing bad, they never back down. And this is where I give credit to the coach, Cisse, because I've been a huge critic of him, because he has such a good squad. Even their bench is so deep, because you just mentioned Sarr. Imagine Sarr just coming out from the bench with 20 minutes to go. He has so much speed. It drives like panic into the defenders of Burkina Faso, and that's what happened, because that corner kick came. First of all, okay, yes, you can lose maybe the first challenge and all that, but then you have the scorer. He touches the ball twice. And scores. And even before, if you look at that zone, the area where the scorer was, it was about 3 Senegalese players that were loose. So with that said, it was bad defending. Secondly, Burkina Faso had defended so much. Senegal was killing them on that left side of the field. Cis and Mane. They were actually, Cis and Mane were just actually killing Burkina Faso. Then what happened again? You saw their defender. What's his name? What's the guy? The name of the defender that made that mistake? Because you are playing, you should know you are against Mane.
So that was for the second. That was for the second goal. The guy who made the error for the second goal. Yeah.
Yes, that was for the second goal, and that was Dayo. Dayo should know that it's Mane behind him, so you don't make such mistakes. Just clear the ball and let your defense reset.
Yeah, it's like what I usually say. I mean, like I know there are a lot of coaches, new coaches out there, and footballing brains who think that, oh yeah, I need a defender who plays the ball at the back. But I know the first rule of defending is clear your damn zones.
No, actually, yeah, he made a mistake. That's not even something to be debated, because the ball did not have enough pace to just run out. And then you are there against someone like Mane. As soon as you see Mane, just clear the ball, because it's Mane. But then he wanted to play cute. Mane took the ball and just played it in, and there goes the second goal within 7 minutes. So that's already a killer.
So True Lion, that's the nature of modern day football. We saw that. I mean, I've seen that a lot. And I saw that when Chelsea played West Ham. Mendy had the ball. Just play the ball. The coach actually said play the ball. But in trying to play the ball, the striker took the ball. The thing is, we see that a lot. However, when something like that happens, what do we say? We say, oh, just kick the ball. But the coaches encourage the players to start play.
So let me ask you a question, right?
It's kind of 50-50. No, I'm not averting the player from a mistake. I'm saying that the player made a mistake. However, that's the nature of modern day football. Players always want to keep the ball. We've been praising Tapsobers lately. Why? Because he has the ability to take the ball, look, give that pass, get the ball from the goalkeeper, and start the game. That's the way modern day defenders play.
Bechem, you're also the player. You have the ball. You just make the right decision, because it's not about being cute. It's about making the right decision. That's what
the fundamental thing there is decision making. You have to make the right decision.
If you play the ball to the goalkeeper to kick, he would have played I thought he was going to play the ball when Mane was coming. Just play the ball to the goalie, because if you notice, Mane took the ball. Mane made
going to a corner kick, just throw it to go to the corner kick. Then you will you now invite more of your players to come and assist you in defending.
Exactly. Just play the ball out and reset.
And then it seems as if this was the ignition point. Mane now took the bull by the horns.
Yes, actually, Mane just played the ball and it was 2-0. And after 2-0, I knew, okay, now Burkina Faso, they're desperate now. They have to come out and attack. And when you come out and attack against Senegal, it means you're opening up the floodgates. But I also think that Senegal made a big mistake, because they were being careless. They were still throwing 5-6 men up front, and that's how Burkina Faso scored in transition. That's how the Burkina Faso scored in transition, and then it was 2-1. But unfortunately, now for Burkina Faso, then Tapsoba.
And again, is this guy who rushed the box-to-box midfielder?
I know. Somewhere else we talked about this, and someone blamed Tapsoba. I mean, I cannot blame Tapsoba for that ball. His player actually fell when he was attempting to control the ball. You cannot blame him. I mean,
it's just. I don't blame him. It's just an unfortunate situation.
It's an unfortunate situation. Yes.
So that's something that I told. Yeah, someone also mentioned that where you guys do recall exactly where. Yes. But like I said, the worst thing he would have done was just to kick that ball. The same thing would have happened.
Yeah, I mean the person where if a little blame could have come is maybe, but his lack of experience also, because that goalkeeper,
the guy who was turning, yes, who tried to stop the ball with the back of his foot.
No. The goalkeeper. Look at Mane is acute. I know he's very experienced and all that, but some goalkeepers will not take that bite. I bet you if he's in the EPL, Mane would. I just think that at some point,
what do you think the goalkeeper would have done?
He went down too easy. He just went down too easy.
I don't think so. In that position,
So guys, this is actually an important point, and it's good that you guys brought it up. We know that in this game, that was a substitute goalkeeper. The Burkina Faso, their starting goalkeeper actually went out injured after that collision with Kouyaté. And this came the substitute who I think if I might be wrong here, but I heard the comment.
It's a home base player.
Yeah, he's one of the only home base players. So he also lacked that experience.
Yeah. He went down too easy. I'm a goalkeeper myself.
Yes, I know. We know you are Shilton.
Yeah, I'm a goalkeeper myself. I know.
I'm
not saying that. Listen.
Let me speak. Chulayo, hold on.
Go ahead.
In that position, I don't care if you're Peter Cech or if you're Buffon. The only thing you do is make yourself big. That's the only thing you can do.
But the goalkeeper did not make himself big.
He tried.
The goalkeeper went from the goalkeeper went from a man to a squirrel. He did not make himself big.
Yeah, okay, you are a goalkeeper. You have some experience. So what would you do? You open your legs and open your arms so that the ball can be played between your legs.
That would be. I mean, you make it more difficult. You make yourself big, but even though Mane scores, then I know that you have accomplished. Like look at the save that Abubakar, the book is it Burkina? Gambia. It was Gambia.
It was Gambia. Yeah, the keeper.
Okay.
Yes, yeah.
Or look at goalkeepers. Like some goalkeepers will make themselves big in that situation and not just But again, I wouldn't blame the goalkeeper. I just said if there was any blame, then I would say maybe the goalkeeper would have to easy.
I think he didn't go out with any conviction. He was just there. That's
exactly.
Yeah, he didn't go out with conviction because
he was scared.
His player was coming. If he had come out with some conviction, Mane would have panicked a little bit because of another player. But he came out with should I go? Should I not go? And he was a little late too.
He was caught with
one-on-ones. Generally, I don't blame a goalkeeper for one-on-ones. That's just me. That's why
it's challenging, especially he was caught with two minds, and not only two minds, he's not experienced. We know his history, but also and most importantly, it was Mane with the ball. We have to know that.
Exactly.
Yeah, it was Mane with the ball. So Mane might even have turned his back. The goalkeeper would still think he will score. So that some of those factors actually play a huge role in goalkeepers and some players' psychology. Yeah. Some players might step up or maybe might just be a little bit depressed. But of course, Mane actually showed up and he was the man of the match for this game.
I was surprised that he wasn't man of the match in their last game. I was surprised that they didn't give him because Mane has actually proved his worth in the last two games. Top class player.
Mane Mane, when I listened to him make that interview, his body language said it all. Senegal was coming in this one. The new Gambia, their coach actually did a good job, and I'm not surprised that Mane actually won that man of the match.
So you have been a huge critic of Cisse
Yes,
today. For you
yes,
both, two home-based local, not let me not say home-based, local coaches managed their teams. So
yes.
what is the overall impression of their coaching?
Oh no, Malo for me so far is the best coach in this tournament. Malo, I'm talking about the Burkina Faso coach.
The Burkina Faso coach, yeah.
I read a story about him. His son is one of the defenders.
Yeah,
And,
the son played the first game of the competition at left back.
Exactly. So his son is one of the defenders, and his son is on the bench because his son is not good enough. So that tells you that finally we have people with dignity, people who come out not to maybe sell their their own, or put their own when they are not competent enough, but someone who actually gives the right players, the chance to actually play. And also then we see Cisse. Cisse is getting his players back together, back fitness. Some actually are back to full fitness. Some actually recovered from the COVID. And then today he showed me that tactically he was sound, because his tactical approach matched the tactical approach also of Malo. And then we saw later in the game they actually were rewarded with those goals. So I think
because and I think Cisse, I'll probably say this and then say one other thing before I bring in Maitre Bechem. And I also Cisse has the advantage of having a deeper bench compared to Burkina Faso. But I will want to mention here, and this is I think it's very important. I don't think Malo's son is not good enough. I just think there are people who are better than him in that defense. So that's a little bit different. I don't want to give the
that's looking at it from a positive side.
Yeah, from a positive. Yeah, so exactly. So, Maitre Bechem, you have been you are an advocate of local coaches. So, what is your overall impression of the local coaches we heard today? Yeah, we know today that out of the 24 teams that came to the competition, 15 were local coaches, mostly from the East African and Southern African countries.
Yeah. So I believe that we are at the time wherein we need our African coaches to lead our teams. Nigeria has been doing that for quite some time now. Senegal too has done that for some time. And we saw it today. This was a very beautiful game that was coached by two coaches that are from Africa. And Cisse, I had criticized Cisse. Malo, I will give him huge credit just for taking this team to the semifinals and for instilling that team spirit, that togetherness in this team. You see a team that lacks quality, but they have that spine to actually take the game to any team, irrespective of the quality of the opponent. Cisse, true, he's a legendary footballer, has a good team, and he proved his work today. So it's time for us as Africans to start looking after our own. You and I know, I mentioned the other day that why can't someone like Ashi Webo, not on this, not here, but
yes,
someone else.
I know, yeah.
Why can't someone like Ashi Webo, who has been an assistant coach to a Champions League team, why can't he coach his team? This coach our current coach doesn't have the football pedigree like Ashi Webo. He doesn't have the coaching credentials like Ashi Webo. So why bring someone who might describe as a PE teacher in Portugal to come and coach our national team when we have the likes of Patrice Mboma, who have those licenses, who have better playing career, and I believe can do better if we give them the opportunity. I just don't like the fact that we rely so much on Akono won the Olympics with us.
I haven't reviewed the credentials of the current Cameroon coach, but I know a little bit that he used to coach FC Porto.
Dr. T, let me say this. I know you haven't reviewed it. People say he played for FC Porto. This guy played one game for FC Porto. One game. They say he has been a coach in Portugal. This guy hasn't coached any team in the first division, any credible team in Portugal. So let me
say this. I'm totally with Bechem. Okay. But this is what also African teams need to do, right? Or the federation needs to do, because we need to provide a platform for coaches to compete.
That's true.
Because as much as I want to see, maybe you just call Mboma, right? Ashi Webo, thumbs up, of course, because he's an active coach.
Good. Yes.
As much as I would like to see Boma, Oman Biik, all those guys coach the national team, I also want to see them prove themselves in the local league so that we can see that this is a good coach, this is a good coach. Because remember what I told you about Eguavon, the coach of Nigeria.
Yes.
I said he was just coming. They put someone in a situation where if he fails, you're gonna say, "Oh yeah, you see, we told you about local coaches." You know,
but Eguavon was assistant to Kechi when Nigeria won the African Nations Cup. So that is.
Dr. T, I want to see you actively week in, week out at the club level.
So I definitely do understand what you are saying, and I think that is actually very good because you may not succeed at club level, but you are gaining some experience. So
yes,
I think you are doing some work.
Dr. T, look at our former players. You know, how many of them are coaching in local leagues? And maybe you might say, why don't you take a job? But the competition in local leagues is not actually good enough.
Yeah.
You know,
I think this is a subject we may have to return on another day because I know both of you are very passionate about this, and I know a couple of other people who hopefully Scott Nyambi will arrange with them to join us at the big debate. Maybe he himself will probably show up because we are so much looking forward to having him and some other people. Ndip is working in the background to have us a big panel here to discuss to make an overall assessment of the competition when the African Nations Cup ends. So in the meantime, before we end the show, we know that the team that has progressed to the next round of the competition is Senegal, and that is the finals which will be taking place on Sunday. So gentlemen, I hope if you guys have any other thing to say, do you guys have any other thing to say before we end the show today? I'm giving you the privileges today because we ended the show yesterday at 37 minutes. Today we have 31 minutes. So you guys have a few more minutes.
So I'm just going to go straight to the Cameroon game tomorrow. I think it's time for us to actually, I know I disagreed a little bit with True Lion yesterday when he talked about Salah. Today I saw Mane. So for me, it was a wake-up call that when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. Now it's time wherein you're going to see class and experience and that technical ability actually expressing itself. You know, we saw that today for Mane. So I'm just going to tell my Cameroonian boys, let's fasten our belt and make sure that we don't create space for Salah. That that left hand side, we have to be very careful. So that's just my message to our boys. But I still go with 2-1 for us tomorrow.
Okay, great. True Lion, before we end the show.
I think that's a good point that you make because the Cameroonian fans, they are in their own world of themselves by their own, and I'm not gonna blame them for that, but the football world is already thinking about a Mo Salah against a Mane finals, because those are the two best African players that.
True Lion, before you continue, you know what we Cameroonian fans think. I know where you're.
Hold on.
No, I agree with you. I agree with you.
No.
Okay, sorry. Yeah.
Okay. So they are thinking about that finals. So Cameroon, in their mindset now, should know that we want to spoil this party, and we have to come out and defend against Mo Salah. I've told you guys, if you give Mo Salah the space Mane had today,
yes,
he's gonna be dangerous because all Mane had today was the space.
Yes.
Believe me. Although some of you will say that if you give Mane the space, he's gonna shine. If you give Salah the space, he's gonna kill you.
Yeah.
And that's what Cameroon has to deny. They have to do although it's zonal defending, it has to be close. You have to keep a second guy like a spy or a third guy like a spy. As soon as Mane is touching that ball, Salah is touching that ball, you are crowding him. That's how Nigeria actually played him.
Yeah.
That's how Nigeria played him, and he did not go anywhere. And that's how, if you go watch, although maybe in 2017 he was not the player that
he is today, but he was coming up at that time.
Yes, and also don't make El Nani play.
The Arsenal midfielder. Yes.
Don't make
good remarks there from you guys. And True Lion, what I wanted to say is that I wasn't going to say something different from what you say. You remember how you said like Cameroon fans are in their own bubble?
Yes.
We Cameroon fans also think the world football, the people watching football in the world, they are also in their own bubble, thinking about the finals between Mane and Salah. That's their own little bubble. They are living in their own world. They are thinking, but the finals is going to, the semifinals will be in Cameroon tomorrow. In 1986, Cameroon played a game with, I believe it was a semifinals with Egypt, a game that ended in penalty and a lot of pelting of ice and on Cameroon players. Tomorrow in Yaoundé, I think we are not going to throw anything on the field, but we are going to give Egypt that same environment. So for the Indomitable Lions, we wish you the best tomorrow.
We're playing with 12 players, like I mentioned yesterday. We're playing with 12 players. So I know that we're definitely going to make them uncomfortable. That's a fact.
Yeah. For everyone watching out there, you were watching the big debate. And gentlemen, it's always a pleasure having you here. And I look forward to having you here tomorrow for the post-match analysis. And promise tomorrow, I will be on my Cameroon shirt. It might be the green one or the yellow one, but I will be on it.
The lesser of the weakest link, the lesser of the weakest link tomorrow will actually be the one that wins the game. And the weakest links for both teams are the coaches.
Okay. So True Lion, I want a clarification to that statement. Okay, guys. Let's chat tomorrow. Okay, thank you for having you guys, and you have a wonderful evening.
You do the same. Thanks.